What's up, friends? My name is Kevin Visay, singer, songwriter, producer, and performance coach. So I help people who are performing to perform better, to understand how to create an improved live experience for their audience. Today, I'm going to be reacting to the BTS Butter in the Live Lounge. BTS, of course, being a global phenomenon, K-pop group, experts, killing it. They're phenomenal. I mean, anyone who doesn't know about BTS doesn't pay attention to music, or at least they don't pay attention to international pop music or pop music in general, because BTS is a force to be reckoned with. They are the premier boy band of this day and age. Live Lounge is interesting because often they edit the vocals in post. So when the live performance is originally done for the BBC radio, it is live, and then later certain vocals are compressed or tuned to better suit their needs. I wouldn't be surprised if BTS utilized this technology, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, because BTS is a group of very talented vocalists, very well trained. Korea has an intense idol training program that is in some ways controversial because of their practices and their intensity and their sex trafficking. But we're not going to get too much into that. We're going to get into the performance and what makes their performance good or bad, what we can learn from watching this. So let's check it out. Also, make sure to subscribe, and I've got a new album of my own coming out October 5th. Pre-save link is in the bio, or the description rather. I'm getting Instagram and YouTube mixed up. It's in the description.
Tap like trouble, breaking into your heart like that. Cool shade stunner, you're owing on to my mother. Hot like summer.
So I'm noticing a few things that I think are very intelligent. First off, you may have noticed that their vocals sound incredibly live. You can hear the buh, you can hear like the mic sounds. It sounds very good live sounding video. Also, that second singer in the green, you'll notice that initially he was not looking toward anything. He was just looking down and right. And then he averted his gaze to be directly on the camera. So it was like that's a good technique. It's, oh, I'm not getting their attention. They're really focused, and then they turn to you. And it creates like a new focus of attention, almost seductive air. Not necessarily sexually seductive, rather just something to draw one in. Okay, and I like how initially you're kind of switching between vocalists. I just think that's cool. I like switching vocalists in songs. Let's continue.
I got the super cycle, so engine
Okay, I am loving how live this is. Like, you can hear the slight errors in their vocals. You can hear when they're a little flat or sharp, and that's awesome. I love to hear that because that makes it feel authentic. You know, as a listener, as a watcher, I'm viewing that and thinking, this is a real experience. I'm actually experiencing what these singers are like, and that makes it a little more special to me. Also, I liked that group vocal when they're all just like, you know, they kind of like shouted, they kind of got in the way, and it wasn't super clean. It was a little messy, and it looked celebratory, you know? Some of the members are moving their hands. There's different levels of movement and dancing and just kind of like feeling it, which I think is a great technique live. Get in the moment, feel it, have more fun with it than you are concerned about, like, you know, making necessary mistakes. Let's continue. Oh, that harmony was great. Oh, I love that popcorn vocal there. Gotcha, you know? Okay, there's a few things I want to point out. One, they're showing basically every instrument that's in use. I mean, there's a little bit of, you know, track stuff, but for the most part, you've got, you know, your keyboards, your drums, and your bass in the background, which is perfect. That's what should be there because that's what's on the track. Also, I love how distinct the personalities are here. You see each individual member expressing themselves. Sometimes in boy bands, you get, you know, matching outfits, and that's great. And they've done that before, and it's looked phenomenal. But here I like that they're kind of each showing their personalities, and through their performances, they're also showing their personalities. The guy with the hat is giving off kind of like, I'm a cool guy vibe. And then the guy in the, I think, red sweater is kind of giving off a, I'm suave. I'm like the charismatic, suave man. And one's a little more gangster, a little more like, I'm cool. So I think it's interesting. I think that's fun. And I think it's a good way to showcase a performance. We'll continue. Oh, I like the change in formation. It's like practiced, but okay, those two rappers were doing great things. Did you see their hand movements? They weren't corny, but they were symbolic of the words they were saying. These artists are a little bit harder to understand, although the music is phenomenal. And I think that part was in English, although I'm not even sure. And I don't really care, because their hand movements and the way that they were kind of, doing this thing and then this thing, that was explicative of what was going on. I've worked with singers in the past who are concerned because they've never performed in front of a group without an instrument. And I always tell them there are interesting ways that you can use your hands to express emotion. As a faster moving track comes up, that's a really good point in which one can move their hands, because it creates a feeling of relaxing, of gregariousness. And it works really well, and they're doing it phenomenally. They're high tier. They're like cream of the crop, trained, so they should be doing it like perfect, as they are. I like how they're kind of touching each other and like getting into each other. It's not like, oh, we're all this like separate individuals. They're together. They're interacting with one another. One sings, the other sings, and they're like holding each other's shoulder. And then as the guy's like, oh, he's grabbing onto the others. He's pulling them in. He's pulling them back. He's kind of changing the focus of the scene. They're moving to the middle. And if you're in a group and you're performing as a group, it's smart to, switch in, switch out, move to the middle, move back. Feels informal, but it's thought out. Don't just have fun with a purpose. Okay, that's it. That was phenomenal. Yeah, that was everything you'd ever want from a live YouTube video. Straight up. Sounded live, the vocals sounded live. There were mistakes in the vocals that sounded real. There was never a point where I was like, oh, this is too good, Those higher vocals that should be more difficult sounded more difficult. They weren't always exactly on the mark. Their harmonies were tight, but there were points at which you could hear the strain in their vocal as they try to hit these higher notes that are slightly unnatural. Sounded awesome. That strain made it feel like there was effort being put in, and they had great performance technique. The one thing I think could have kind of taken this to a new level, although I know it's a difficulty because this is in a live lounge and it's not like an actual concert performance, and it's something that K-pop groups do in a live setting, and I think it's phenomenal, is they've developed these chant systems, and I think those work really well. If it were a realistic live setting, an actual concert, I'm sure they would do that and it would look great. I love chants. I love back and forth. They really engage an audience, make them feel a part of the music. Fan interaction, things that they couldn't do because they didn't have fans there. But you did see a lot of really good arm movement, really good hand movement, really good body movement, a lot of good switching, a lot of good playfulness, good arrangement, good expression of personality and distinction of personality. A lot of very good things going on. Really enjoyed it. Great performance, as I would expect from BTS. If there's anyone you'd like to see me critique performance-wise, please let me know, and I'll look into it. Again, October 5th, Giovanni comes out. I think it's a dope album. I hope you all check it out and pre-save it in the link. Yeah, it's got a lot of like modern pop theory going on in it, so I think those who like K-pop will like it. It's got a lot of cool vocal layers too, which is a K-pop thing. Just like this track, a lot of it's bass and drum driven and with little keyboard additions. So hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts about this live lounge video. Love to hear them. And yeah, catch you on the flip.